That was, one of those times when I had more dollars than cents. It's Whack-A-Frickin' Doodle. He was riding his motorbike, and apparently the dog is one of those who likes to chase cars and things. I don't know. I'm having a really bad hair color experience, and I tried to fix it, but whatever. I'm just going with it. We're getting ready, or I'm ready, to go to the oncologist's office today with Mr. Allen. His sister is coming too. She's going to pick us up. She's wonderful. She's a doll. And so I'm nervous about what the doctor's going to say. So I need to keep busy. For a change of pace, today we're going to do the update on Mr. Allen's cancer journey while I'm keeping busy. So we just got back from the oncologist, Mr. Allen's oncologist, and of course, as always, it's good news and bad news. They just make you feel like, okay, it's not all bad. We have a plan, and this is what we're going to do. And that makes you feel so much better about the whole situation. Anyway, Mr. Allen had a tooth that was bothering him, he thought. And so he went to the dentist. The dentist said there was an infection there, and he gave him antibiotics, or, ordered antibiotics for him. So then they needed the release from the oncologist at the dentist's office. They needed that release, so that took forever. We went around and around and around, finally got it to them, and then I said, well, can we make an appointment for Mr. Allen? He's got that tooth problem. They said, well, actually, the doctor's out of town. The dentist is out of town. And we'll make you an appointment with a specialist. I said, really, he needs to get this taken care of before he starts chemo or whatever it is that the doctor prescribes, because we don't know yet. And we need to get this done now. So they referred him to a specialist. So we went there, figured it was going to take an hour. I had some things I needed to pick up. I said, I'm just going to run and pick those up so you don't have to wait or go with me. I'll pick those up and take them home, and then I'll come back and get you. Well, I got to the store, and I got a phone call, and they said, come back now. I thought, oh my gosh, I was just shaking. I was just panicking. So I got there, and they said, well, the bone is exposed, which could have been caused by the radiation. So that was scary. I was just mortified. But they were wonderful. They got on the phone and started calling every oral surgeon around, and they finally who had an appointment available soon. So they finally found one that was like 40 miles away, which is fine, and it was available for the next day for a consultation. So we figured he would go for the consultation and have to come back, and meanwhile be in such pain. And then it made his throat sore, so he couldn't even swallow. Meanwhile, we're trying to fatten him up. We're trying to get him to gain weight. So that was just, but we went to the appointment the next day. That was last Friday. The dentist was wonderful. The oral surgeon was wonderful. And he says, well, it's a bone spur, and that happens sometimes. It's not from the radiation or anything, just something you get. And Mr. Allen had those before, like on the other side. Like sometimes if you get a tooth pulled, then there's spurs coming out later. I don't know. So, and he said, we can do surgery, and he said, I think we might be able to do it today. I said, yes, please. And he said something else, and he said, well, we'll look at the schedule and see if we can get you in there and do this surgery. And then finally I looked at Mr. Allen and I said, did you want to go ahead and do that today? He said, yes, please. So thankfully, we're so blessed that we had such a good oral surgeon, and he was able to do it that day. And he was a little sore after that, but within a couple of days, he was back to eating food again. So that was wonderful. He didn't want to even drink anything because his throat was so sore from the, I don't know, infection or whatever. So he got some prescriptions. Okay, long story. That's all about. So then Monday, that's what we've been busy. I started this video Monday morning, and then today's Thursday. So we've been busy since then. We went Monday to the oncologist, and the story I have to tell you about this, after I finish this, the story I have to tell you is not funny. It's just kind of silly things that are a little splendiferous. We went to the oncologist, and he said the genetic testing came back and that he doesn't have that genetic marker so that they could use a pill to alleviate the cancer. So they're going to go ahead and do chemotherapy and immunotherapy. Not doing radiation. Remember, he had radiation on his head where they took that tumor out of his brain. And they did that one time in Miami, at the University of Miami. But he's not prescribing radiation, just chemotherapy and immunotherapy. Oh, and by the way, he has the cancer in two places inside his body. The one in his brain, or the two in his brain are gone, far as we know. They're going to have to do more testing and see if those come back. But he has two in his body, and they're both different types of cancer. He said that's unusual, but that's why he's, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know what? Did I say I'm not a doctor? I'm definitely not a doctor. Otherwise, I would have probably explained this better. So he's having chemotherapy and immunotherapy tomorrow. So I'm glad that's getting done, and he'll be on the road to recovery. We hope, we pray. And so he's going to go every week. He's going to have to go back to the oncologist. This week he will have the chemo and immunotherapy, and that takes 5 hours. They do the chemo first, and then they do the other one. And so I'll leave him there and come back in 5 hours or whatever, and that way I can vacuum. I haven't been able to vacuum because when he's sleeping, he's tired a lot. When he's sleeping, I don't want to run the vacuum. So Friday, when he's come back Friday for vacuuming fun, it's wackadoodle. So he'll go this week and have the treatments. Then next week and the next week, maybe the next week. I'm not sure if there's two weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks in between. I have to read that. But then he'll go back to just have blood work done and see what's happening. And then he'll go back again. So they've scheduled him for four chemo treatments. So it will take like 3 months, 3 or 4 months to get this done, and then do more testing and see if it's helped. So that's it. That's all I know. That's all I know. And that's a lot to know because I didn't want to know that. But we do. We need to know. And he's doing okay, really. Like I said, he's tired a lot, but he gets up and goes for a walk on the beach in the mornings. And, he's eating. Thankfully, he's eating. And that's good. He needs to gain some weight. Oh, okay. Here's the story. About the nurse at the oncologist's office. She's a doll. She helped me on the phone. I talked to her on the phone about getting the release form back to the dentist so that he could go through whatever dental treatments he needed. So, and they just passed that along to the other doctors. We didn't have to do it again. So then after we were finished with the doctor, he said, well, the nurse is going to explain everything, see if you have any more questions or anything, and show you the treatment room where the people go to get their chemo. And so she comes in and she does all that, and she tells us all the things we need to know. And she says, by the way, I have to tell you this. We have been in this area for a really long time. Mr. Allen's parents met in this area and got married, had a whole lot of children, and his dad had cancer. Well, anyway, the nurse, she's a doll. She said, I remember your dad, and I was your dad's nurse. He passed away maybe 20 years ago. She said, I was his nurse back then. They were like, wow, unbelievable. And she says, so anyway, Mr. Allen's sister was there, and she said, well, what is your last name? And she tells her, and Allen goes, well, you're related to Dave. She said, yeah, that's my husband. He says, well, you just live around this corner from us. You just live so close by. She says, yeah, and you hit our dog. It's silly because poor dog was okay. But I guess this dog was one of those who likes chasing cars and things. Well, Mr. Allen has a motorbike. It's a gas bike. And it will go maybe 30 miles an hour, which he makes sure he goes that fast. But he hasn't ridden it for quite a while, probably after this thing. But anyway, the dog, this was maybe 10 years ago, he was riding down the street right by their house. They just live around the corner. I mean, we could walk over there easily if it weren't so hot. But the dog came running out and splat, hit the tire. Mr. Allen went flying over the handlebars. He was beat up all over the place. So, yeah. So he came home and he was a mess. But we laughed because it was kind of funny that we, know her husband, or he knows her husband, and they have that in common that he hit their dog. So the dog was okay. Mr. Allen was okay eventually, but he came home. He was all scraped up. His knees, his elbows, his hands. He was just a mess. I had to bandage him up and everything. But anyway, it's good to know that someone we know is helping. Someone who lives nearby, and that's great. Someone we feel comfortable with. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And, if you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. Get ready for more fun things. And we're finished with the closet. Now you should see this mess. Let me show you this mess I have. It's the mess that I just made. All those hangers. There's a laundry basket. This bag is donations. There's donations over there. Hangers. Okay. we didn't even do up here yet. Maybe next week. It's taken me a whole week to get this done. And I need to get rid of this stuff and put some of it back and donate and see if my neighbors will please like those hangers. Thank you for joining me. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will. Please leave me a comment. Anything here you like that I'm getting rid of? Anyway, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here so much. I love your comments. I read every one of your comments. And I appreciate you to pieces. But the most important thing to remember is don't forget to love yourself. Love ya.